Hello and welcome back to Let's Play Riven 2024. Found Prison Island, where we are going to go see the last totem in the game. Now, the first time I played this, I thought there were 5 totems, because everything else is based on 5, but, you know, the Rivenese don't like 5 as much as the Dunny do. We saw this thing earlier when we came to visit Catherine the first time. But we didn't have this magic lens to be able to tell what the correct orientation of that number is. And there's the pen again. And this one has a notch in the upper left only. And let's see if we can figure out what kind of animal it is. This thing is still open, so... And this is where we first found the lens, is right over here, I believe. So, aha. It's the fish that happens to be the game's icon on my desktop. Put this back in case Gen wanders past here. I don't think Catherine will have anything else to say to us because we haven't really made any significant accomplishments. We've found lots of things. We've opened shortcuts and new paths. But if you remember the goals that Catherine had given us, or between Catherine, Atris, and Gen had given us, we need the linking book back from the moiety. And we need to find Gen. Well, we know where Gen is. He's on 233. And we know how to get to Gen. So it's just a matter of going back to the correct island to do that. And you have to stop the, I could have just looked at, no I couldn't. Never mind. I'm being silly. Alright, so you have to stop this thing from spinning. There it goes. It stopped spinning. It's about to open. Go back in here. And we're going to wait while it reloads the overworld, I guess you could say. The underworld. And then we're going to go from there. So give us a few minutes to reload. And that's kind of sparkly there. Oh, we're going down this direction, we're not going out. It's been a long day already. Okay, so I want to go back to... actually, I want to mark Prison Island on my notes here. We want to go back to the Boiler Island, because that's where I came from. That's just the vertical slit. So, there it is. So we need to crank to the nearest intersection. Spin it around so that we're facing the guess ley line is as inaccurate as anything else. And the vertical one is Boiler Island. Here we're looking out this window for progress and not for, not down there. Okay, so we now have a choice of whether we're going to go back to Boiler or back to Temple Island to go find Gen. There's the dome. Or if we're going to go back to Village Island, we've got to go back to Village Island either way, because that's where the minecart takes us. But whether we're going to stay there and try to figure out what's at the top of that A-frame thing, or, you know, south end of the village is where people keep disappearing from, and they kind of suspect the moiety. Now, the catch there. Did they fix this yet? Yes, they did. First playthrough of that, the cart would go through it and then the doors would open. So they fixed that glitch. But, so Gen was saying that the, in his journal, that the south end of the village had people appearing and disappearing. The catch is we don't know which is the south end of the village. Since the only thing we haven't explored there yet is that A-frame, or that conic section. Let's go that way. Yes, I could have used a dome here, but I like the minecart, so sue me. Alright, back down this direction. This will take us to the edge of the village. The boardwalk. And there's a chance that one of the villagers or one of Gen's minions will have removed the submarine back to its home, or to somewhere else where I can't reach it. That looks like it's still there. I think I have seen that happen. Maybe if you leave the island for long enough, they remove it. But we want to go over there, because that's the school, and we've already seen that. There's the junction, which will let you go back to the start of the submarine area under the Lark. Alright, click to get loose from puzzle view, climb up to the top of the ladder, And we have a button panel. And there's a walkway up there. So I'm betting this lowers some sort of a elevator. If we go all the way, yep. And once again, there are manacles on the bottom of this thing. And if you were in those manacles, you would now be dunked into the water. And presumably, you would either drown, or if those warp things are in this lake, they would eat you. Or both. Again, is not a very pleasant type of person. Another control panel up here. And our protagonist is silent, although you could interact with that gentleman. Maybe if we open this up, he will start talking to us like Catherine did. He's gone. He didn't leave by the door, and it looks like this is a prison cell, so it looks like he should be stuck in there. After all, that's kind of the point of a prison cell. But there's a dagger in invisible ink here, so maybe this is a thing we can Yep, hidden door in the prison cell. In the old game, you could just keep clicking, and you'd eventually end up somewhere in this pitch black tunnel. But here, since it's free walk-ish, you have to use the Rebel lens to see the invisible ink markings that will lead you out to the end of the tunnel, which should eventually start getting lighter as we reach the end. But this goes nowhere useful. We can see Survey Island from over there. But there's a ping pong, well, I mean, a fire marble. Remember when we strike it, it lights up? It's a fire marble striker. No airplane references here, please. And we'll just turn these lights on, going all the way back down the tunnel. And there's a door. Released a handle on something that looks movable. And we have reached the... So if we move the handle, it opens. And a new feature in this is that if you close the door, there's another passage. And you can open this. And this is that room with the blue sticks that had the drawing on it. Okay, down this direction, we have this thing here. And there's the fish symbol. There's the yttrim. So I'm guessing we have to press these symbols in the correct order. There's the wark. Beetle. The other one we saw, I don't know what that one's supposed to be. And there's the Sunner. All right. And there's a moiety knife symbol there. And so if we press these in the right order, we might get somewhere. But what is the right order? To do that, we need some screenshots from our notebook. These are from previous playthroughs, so they may not be as helpful in this, but we will because some of the codes are randomized. Alright. So here's the symbols we have. And this converts them to dunny numbers, which is not as helpful as one would expect. But at least this is consistent from playthrough to playthrough. All right. So we know the dunny numbering scheme from the Hangman game and from the combination by the Starfisher. And if I remember correctly, it starts with that symbol. And then the next one is that minus... And this is going to be very rough, and I apologize for my paint skills, which are adequate, but not nice. And then there was the one that looked like a K. And then there's a thing here. And then 5 is if you take this one and rotate it 90 degrees, you get that for 5. And then if you superimpose this one on top of this one to get 6, it's like this. Okay, if we go into Riven and go back to our notebook and find that sheet again, here's our dunny numbers: I, D, K, square, horizontal, plus, D. Yeah, it looks like the 5 is superimposed on the first 4 symbols again to get up through 9, and then the 2 here gets rotated 90 degrees, and that becomes the basis, and then you would start over with the D with the vertical, and then the other D, and then the K, etc. So if we go back to paint, we have this, but we need to figure out what the Rivenese numbers are, the local numbering scheme, and not Gen's imperialistic we're better than you numbering scheme. So of the ones we need the K, which is 3, which is the one that has the dot in the upper left corner. We also could use the one for 1, which is this guy here, which is 1 notch in the upper right corner. And That's 1. And then we also want the one for 5, which is this guy, which has both the bottom and the upper. And this is 6, which has both upper lobes. All right. So this gives us 4 of the 6 combinations that we need for this puzzle. So let's fill in what we know. I'm going to use a fill tool. And the 3 has this node filled in. We have the code for 1, which is this guy. We have 5, which has these 2 filled in. And then 6 has these 2 filled in. Do we just assume that it's counting around the outside? So 1, 2, 3. And then we do something here to add. Actually, let's look at the ones we already have. So this one is the frog from the fountain. No, this is the minecart, which has a frog. This one here matches the jungle one, which is the sunner. This symbol here matches the prison island with the fish, the Riven fish. This one here, I don't know what it looks like. This one here is the bug from underwater. And both top nodes filled in is the wark from the fountain. Which, by the process of elimination, if we get rid of the minecart, our market is found, and the sunner, and the fish, and the bug, and the wark, that leaves us with the beetle, which has these 2 nodes filled in. All right, so we're going to throw this onto the other monitor, go back into Riven, and we're going to find these things in order. So we have the frog, aka Yitrim, which is this guy here, and we're pulling the things up. Next one is the sunner. And then the next one is the fish that we saw from Prison Island, aka the Riven logo, which is this guy over here. Alright, next is the beetle that was in the abduction tree. Then there's the weird bug that we saw underwater, which is this guy over here. It may be another type of fish. It's hard to... It's very symbolic. And then the last one is the wark. And, you know, the order of these is randomized each playthrough. But the wark will always be the last one you pick, because then you're already facing the thing that's about to happen with the stuff. And we see light pouring down from the ceiling onto this thing. So if we go over here, oh, it's a linking book, or descriptive book, more likely. And if we put the Rebel lens onto the book so that it lights up, we can link. But I'm going to do that next time, because we're about out of time. And so we will see you next episode. Tune in next time, and thanks for watching.